Welcome to the Business Grind, where we give you an inside perspective on what it takes to start, build, and run a successful business. Here are your hosts, Danny Shaw and Sean Michael Wellington.
All right. Hello to everyone in podcast land today. Thanks for joining us as usual. Sean, how are you feeling?
Feeling good and ready to talk some lifestyle businesses this week.
All right, definitely. So, as Sean already mentioned, for today's episode, we're going to be discussing lifestyle business, right? So we'll give an intro to, what it is, what it isn't, and how it may differ from traditional startup businesses, and some things to consider if one is interested in a lifestyle business, right? So I guess the first thing is to discuss what is a lifestyle business, right?
Right. Well, I do want to know, before we jump into it, what made you decide that you wanted to talk about this on this episode?
Well, I will say for me, which will probably lead into, the description and describing of what a lifestyle business is. But for me, I've always kind of been aware of lifestyle businesses, but I think also for me, what made me want to tackle this was we're kind we're kind of in the age of, entrepreneurship. Being a business owner is very romanticized, and for a lot of people, I think we only think there's only one way to do a business or to have a business, right? Like we got to be a startup or bust or scale at all costs, and think if that's not the type of business that we are setting out to do, then it is, it's a failure, right? That's the end all be all. So, knowing about lifestyle businesses, I thought it would be a good topic to discuss, to kind of compare and contrast and introduce it to people who may not be familiar with the concept.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And do you know any? Because as I did my research on this topic, I'm trying to think of business owners who fall under this category.
Hold up. We gotta give a description. We got
True. Yeah, right. I just want to know if you had anybody in mind.
I don't offhand. I have some folks, but we gonna get to that. But I appreciate it. You went right into. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So with that being said, since I know you wasn't really familiar with this concept, I'll let you take, like, based off your understanding, what have you researched? Where did your research lead you in regards to what is a lifestyle business?
Where it led me was basically, in a nutshell, lifestyle businesses are businesses designed to be a reliable source of income and not necessarily you playing out, your dreams or your ideas, but it's specifically predicated on generating income to maintain a certain lifestyle. That's kind of how I deciphered it.
Okay, I wouldn't disagree with you. So the only thing I would disagree is where you mentioned, like, it's not really based on your dreams, right? And I think that's a little open-ended, because it's like, well, maybe somebody's dream is really just to live a certain lifestyle, right?
That's true. True.
So that's where it gets a little grayish. I think for a lot of people, the definition may change depending on who you ask, right? But I think for us as a baseline, I think we're in agreement that essentially it's a business that's essentially set up and run by the founders. But the primary goal of it is really to sustain a particular level, of income, and to provide a foundation to enjoy a particular lifestyle that you identify, right? And that's where it gets a little wavy, right? Because everybody's lifestyle is different. Well, a lot of people's lifestyle are different, right? They have different aspirations, different goals. So depending on what you want your lifestyle to be and how you want to live it, that business that supports that lifestyle will vary, right? But I think ultimately the key takeaway is that I think the easiest way to say it, it's not doing the most. Right,
like rapid growth, right. Rapid expansion, all that is not the goal.
It's not the goal. The goal is, I want to live a certain lifestyle, whatever that may be, and here is a business that supports me in that goal and the endeavor. All right.
Yeah, and then one thing I guess you'll probably go into greater detail about, but one thing about the lifestyle business is that it's really heavily predicated on improving, like we said, the income of the owners or the initial investors. Mm-hmm. But the workers and the employees, the people the people actually doing the groundwork doesn't necessarily take them into account too much, right?
It doesn't. It really doesn't, right? It's really more about a few people, a few investors, or usually one person, in a lot of cases, and just how does that, impact their lifestyle and their living. Now, in a roundabout way, there could be added benefits in effect. Sometimes these businesses, even though it started off as a lifestyle business, it may have grown and become successful to the point that, the rest of the staff and other teams and people have benefited and they're all able to grow or benefit from it. But it's not really, the goal isn't really to say I'm going to start a lifestyle business and the goal is to create a 100 person employee company and stock options. Technically that could be considered a lifestyle business if you determine that your lifestyle is to be a CEO, right? But usually you're thinking more like I just want to work 80 hours, 70 hours, X amount of hours, 40 hours, and do this amount of work and call it a day, and it allows me to maybe travel the world a little bit more frequently, or spend more time with my kids, or not be as strenuous on taking a physical toll on me. But again, it really is dependent on the person and what they have identified their lifestyle that they want to live.
So I was thinking of mainstream examples of a lifestyle business, or readily known examples. That's where I was curious.
So,
what came to mind for you?
So I will say, I don't know. I wasn't able to identify any mainstream businesses that is a lifestyle business. And if I say mainstream, I'm thinking in regards to press, right? Saying, oh, well, this person is doing this and that. Usually because media and press, for the most part, they focus on those multi-million-dollar success operations and things like that, right? I mean, there's probably stories where a business in its early stages was possibly a lifestyle business, even though their goal wasn't to be. So maybe their goal was to get to the higher upper echelons of corporate success history, right? And be a type multi-million-dollar company. But maybe at a certain point, it was just enough to maintain the lifestyle and what they were doing, right? I think in case in point, the episode that we did with Mr. Johnson, right? Like his story, his business, he's an accountant. He has a large office and firm and a staff full of people. Now, I wouldn't consider his business a lifestyle business, right? Especially not where it's at now. But he did allude early on where a lot of his, he was taking the money early in the month and using it for the rent for this, and then it was, generating. It was enough to sustain his lifestyle. I know that's probably not what he wanted to do forever, right? Because that's a kind of a chaotic lifestyle. But it's very, very, this is just enough to sustain me and keep me going for the lifestyle that I eventually want, right? Is that making sense?
It does. So Now, with that said, the first thing that comes to mind, which is not a business, or it is a business, but it's a business within a platform. I'm thinking of OnlyFans. I think these OnlyFans people probably are, performing are creating lifestyle businesses without even knowing it. That's kind of what now that I've wrapped my head around it. I need to wrap my head around content. That's the only way I think for some reason.
All right. So I would, I'm not too familiar with the OnlyFans model. I do know that OnlyFans take about 20% cut of the content creator.
Oh, okay. So because the platform takes a cut, it may not fall under that. That's a good point.
But just because they take a cut doesn't mean that you don't have a lifestyle business, right? Okay, let's.
We don't got.
I know. I'm just
I was just trying to wrap my head around it. Like, all right, what's a video version of a lifestyle business? And I think an OnlyFans person who's popular and that's their main source of income, that might fall under that.
That might fall under it. It's a possibility. When I think of lifestyle business, so for me, right, this is why sometimes it's kind of hard to get a definitive grasp or understanding, right? So for me, when I think of lifestyle, I'm thinking about, I personally don't want to be, I want to somehow maintain a nice balance of work, play, mental health, physical health. I want to be able to try to have a nice balance of all those elements in my life based off what I think is important, right? So for me, OnlyFans, or not just OnlyFans, any type of content, excuse me, content creation. I've been in the content creation game. I started a business that was content creation. For me, I realized at the time that wasn't the lifestyle I wanted to live. The amount of content I had to put out just for just for some type of return, whether it's monetary or page views or growing an audience, was very strenuous to me, right? Uh, and I knew it was a you know profitable business, but the lifestyle as a whole was not it for me. Be pumping out 12 articles a day, image cropping, you know what I mean? That wasn't for me. But there may be a content creator that's going to be like, hey, I'm cool doing this, creating X amount of content and calling it a day. That's the lifestyle that they are okay living for this business that they have created. For instance, if you creating some type of startup, or you're trying to create a company that has a scale up fast, there's a lot of other things that you need to be considerate of, right? You got a lifestyle business generally is less investment than a startup, right? It's designed to generate money usually from day one. It's less risky. It's less risky, but the opportunity for growth is not as large as a startup or something. So people start up lifestyle businesses by they're a photographer. Their business is photography, right? Obviously, if I'm a photographer and I start that business to sustain a certain lifestyle I want, I don't need a lot of investment as an Instagram. I may not need to pay infrastructure fees and serving fees and all of that type of stuff, right? A photographer can probably generate profits after they've covered the cost for their equipment, lighting, maybe some programs. It's going to be a short amount of time before they start generating profits, before they're able to cover those expenses that they've invested in already, right? It's not going to be a long time for that, especially if they're good and they have a solid clientele, right? Meanwhile, but also, with that being said, it's creating a lifestyle. But when you think about the growth or the upside opportunity as a one man or one woman photography studio or operation, there's only so much growth and upside that you can have. You could reach the heights of being a world famous photographer, if that's fine, but it's not like you will be able to scale it and become a large photography house firm or become a Getty Images unless you're trying to be. But usually if it's a lifestyle, it's usually like one or a few people, and just slow, steady growth that maintains the lifestyle that you're trying to live, house, kids, family, and so forth. All right.
So one of the things you mentioned, which I was curious about, was the investment, and it's less of an investment up front. It sounds like from research I did for a lifestyle business versus a traditional startup where you're trying to rapidly expand and scale.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't quite understand why it would be less. But now I kind of do. But I'm gonna see if maybe you could explain it a little further. In my head, it's because you're not investing in the scalable items like staff or technology that's going to help you be more efficient and produce at a higher rate, or more product, whatever it is. The things that go into scale are usually where that extra investment comes from. So am I understanding it correctly though? I just want to see.
I think it's a little bit of that, because if you're thinking about scale, usually a lot of times when you're thinking about scale and growth so fast, a lot of times you need a large influx of money and capital investments to grow fast. And a lot of times that growth comes at the cost of profits, right? I'm trying to grow and grab my audience and do these things. I am trying to grow fast for a few reasons. One, I'm trying to capture audience, but in order to capture that audience, I had to take capital from investors who need their money back, right? So now I'm trying to satisfy a lot of different folks at one time, trying to grow a business, trying to make it profitable, trying to satisfy my users and customers, but also I got these people who loan me this money back as well. That's helped me grow as well, right? So there's more factors and kind of more, you know, things to take into consideration. So in regards to the cost, right? You're definitely going to need infrastructure costs for a lifestyle business. But I think one of the bigger takeaways is that you're probably less, generally speaking, you're less beholden to so many entities that you got to pay back and that you got to answer to. And you don't have to promise as many returns and stuff like that, right?
Right. Okay, that makes sense because the individual owner and or his investors, they're all kind of unified in that goal in maximum profitability. So
Right.
it seems like all of the money they invest would go towards that goal. So wouldn't it be a matter of it wouldn't be a matter of
Right.
having to pay anything back. So,
Exactly. So that's kind of where the where that investment factor comes into play there. So I think, but one thing I think should be clarified, right? At least from my take, it's not like a lifestyle business is inherently easier than a non-lifestyle business. It's just that it puts you in a different state of mind, a different mindset in regards to how you want to go about your business and with the life that you're trying to live, right? Because there's work, and I think what has happened is, you're gonna blame social media. Let's blame social media. There's a lot of people that are out here that they say be your own boss, create your own business, stop, answering to folks, and quit your 9 to 5. All of those key phrases, right? The thing is, no matter no matter how you get your income, you're working for somebody, right? If you have your own
yeah.
business, you're working for your customers. If you have a job and you're working for your boss, you have a boss in some way and capacity. Whether you own a business, your boss is your customers. If you work at a job, then your boss is your manager. You all have a boss, right? To an extent. But I think what happens is, for a lot of people early on, when you hear lifestyle business and things like that, I think people kind of think, oh, well, I only work 1 hour a day and that's it. And I live the rest of my life for myself and I have all the time in the world. That's not really the case for any type of business, but definitely not the case for a lifestyle business. I think recently you have a lot of people who have lifestyle businesses that are based around like drop shipping and Amazon and stuff like that. And you have these people who I do drop shipping or I do this and that. All I do is spend an hour a day and I live my best life. And that's great. I'm not going to knock it, but that is not really the norm. And that really, I don't think that should be expected for anyone that's considering a lifestyle business.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. This is a philosophical question, so I don't know if there's a right answer, but do you consider like a lifestyle business retirement alternative? Because I've seen that written elsewhere that some people use that as an alternative to retirement.
Oh, you must have been in my head in conversations lately, especially since I've really been talking about retiring early out the game lately. Lifestyle businesses can be a retirement strategy, right? It can be an early retirement strategy. It can be a post-retirement strategy, to be quite honest. I think it's really, again, what's your lifestyle and what you're trying to live. Like, I know for me, when I get out the game, it's not going to be about, I'm not just going to sleep all day, every day. I'm still going to be doing some type of work, some type of activities, just something, right? That's just in my nature and energy. So in that case, a lifestyle business or a side venture or something to just keep you busy or hobbies is going to always come into play, right? But it can work as a retirement strategy, but I think for all intents and purposes, it can work now, especially in the world that we're in. We see a lot of people, a lot of articles, people not satisfied with the work and their jobs and how they're being treated and going on their own. And for a lot of people, it's not about saying I'm creating a business that's going to make me, put me on the cover of a Fast Company magazine or any other of these business magazines. It's more about I'm going to create a business that will replace my job and allow me more flexibility than what my job did. And hopefully, maybe it'll be maybe even better than my job where I'm able to hire some people to help me and, maybe, help impact their lives as well. It really depends on how, what are you seeking and what is the goal from it?
Okay, Danny, I think my business is a lifestyle business this whole time, and I didn't know it.
Oh.
I think I'm learning that now. I mean, it started off as an extension of me as a video producer,
Right.
just monetizing it and extending,
Right.
increasing the opportunities.
Right.
But just all these kind of qualifications. It's like it's low key a lifestyle business, even though I have partners who.
Right.
It's not all about my success; it's about our collective success. But
Right.
yeah, it sounds like it's a lifestyle business stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think for a lot of people, they may have a lifestyle business not realize it is. And listen, just because it starts as a lifestyle business doesn't mean that's how it ends, right? You can start a lifestyle business and it start manifesting and growing into something completely on its own. And now your lifestyle has changed because of how the business has changed, right?
Right.
So you're like, oh, well, this has grown to such a great success story, and who knew we would be killing it like this. So now I need to adjust my lifestyle to fit this. But that's fine. I think we had similar paths. Your business started as an extension of what you was already trained to do as a profession, right? And it, went into these other avenues, and now you're like, okay, well, we're profitable, we're making money, but then it would also be up to you to say, well, am I okay with what I'm doing now? Do I want bigger contracts? Do I want bigger clientele, more clientele? Do I need to start bringing on more staff? Now, if you start getting there to that level, it's still a lifestyle business. Can it replace your job today? Or could it partially replace it? Those type of questions. But even then, as you start growing doesn't mean that it's not a lifestyle business anymore. But you would really need to define if it's really just for your lifestyle or it's for the extras on top of that, right?
Right, yeah. And I think the part that I just related to, I guess, for lack of a better word, is just not the obsession with rapid expansion and growth and being the biggest company on the Forbes list.
Right.
It's more so maintaining and quality control and maintaining really your lifestyle. So
Right. I will say, I do think, when it comes to the lifestyle, your lifestyle preferences can change, and it will change, right? So maybe your lifestyle was one way, you say, oh, I just need enough of this and call it a day. And that might have been good for 3 years, right? And now your lifestyle is changing, and you're like, I think I might be better off, not better off, but I think this is my new lifestyle. Well, then how does your business adjust to it, if it needs to be adjusted at all, right? But it really, all those things need to be taken into consideration, which is why sometimes it's hard to, to clearly identify what is and what isn't a lifestyle business, because everybody's lifestyle is different, right? But I will say, usually it tends to be solopreneurs, like generally speaking, one man show. Maybe they hire freelancers, hire freelancers every now and then, helping, help with certain things. But for the most part, they're kind of running the show all, solo dolo for the most part. And I will say, I think another key factor to take away is that usually when people do start a lifestyle business, it's really more as a vehicle to boost the quality of their life or lead a particular lifestyle. Usually it's a scenario where, they are seeking, more freedom, more flexibility, less risk, less stress. They're kind of, tired of the standard path, right? They want more control. They get frustrated that maybe their ideas and thoughts aren't being considered at work or whatever environment that they're in. So they tend to say, okay, I want a little bit more freedom. I don't want to get caught up in all the bureaucracy that happens at their regular scenario. And, something that tends to be less risk, lower risk, and started at a faster rate. I can get started right away. I got laptop, Wi-Fi, or I have the resources, the infrastructure along the way. Whereas if you are trying to start a startup, right, and this is a good contrast, if you're trying to start a startup, they're not focused on freedom. If you're focusing on a startup and trying to build a startup business, you're more focused on growth because you need that to grow, right? You may also hire a bigger team across different areas, right? Whereas that lifestyle business, you kind of hire as you need, as you go. I may need a bookkeeper. I may need someone to help me with operations. Whereas early on in the startup, you're just going to hire that big team across the board and like, let's figure it out, right? And the risks are definitely considerable higher. We was talking about the cost earlier. The risk are higher, higher risk, higher cost. Sometimes the stakes is so high, you can't even, the only way to get started is with venture capitalist funding. Like you can't even bootstrap it, right? And ultimately that control when you're trying to do a startup is very limited compared to a lifestyle business, because you have, like I mentioned before, you have to answer to investors and other stakeholders and people who have a controlling interest in that idea,
Yeah. I'm gonna read a piece or a little sentence that I saw when I was researching online. This is from FAQsupport.com.
Okay.
It was like, the main part is, a lifestyle business typically has limited scalability and potential for growth because such growth would destroy the lifestyle which the owners sought to achieve. The lifestyle, would be destroyed if they attempted to scale the business. So I think that was just helped me grasp the concept very clearly. It's like the reason you have limited potential for scale and size is because you're trying to maintain your lifestyle, and that would interrupt it. It's just straightforward.
Pretty much. I will say, is the book The 4-Hour Workweek, which we actually read and reviewed. So if y'all did not catch that episode, catch it. But the book that we read, The 4-Hour Workweek, I think when that book came out, it really had a lot of people in their mind thinking that I can create a lifestyle business and only work 2 hours a week and life will be grand. I think, while we definitely enjoyed that book and I didn't have any knock, it definitely, I think, influenced a lot of people to think that they can have a lifestyle business with minimal work, minimal input. And
I would argue it's more work, because you have all these parameters. Right. You can't just infuse capital in your business to solve problems anymore. You have to actually be a problem solver. So I think it's harder.
I would say it is harder. I definitely would. I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I've been in ventures where we were in the startup lane and we were like, yo, we trying to really scale this out, baby, and get investors and do it all. And you're like, oh, this is crazy, and then transition and be like, I'm more, as you get older and things start changing, you say, I don't really want to do this hustle and bustle. I mean, you're hustling and bustling either way. So let's be clear. But now it's more like, I think I want to focus on a little bit more of a balance. I still hustle and bustle, but where's the rest of my quality of life going? And I do think lifestyle business definitely tends to lend themselves to that. You may not get all the accolades and the glitz and the glam, but if you're definitely more into your quality of life and not losing sleep overnight because a certain post you was hoping go viral to boost sales didn't go up, then yeah, lifestyle business is probably a little bit more of that lane until you get to a point where it can expand probably beyond that, right? So now that, how do you feel realizing that, it's like, well, my business is a lifestyle business more so?
I felt like I was fighting against this idea of rapid expansion and rapid growth in the hustler's mentality. So now knowing that there's an actual classification for what I at least started out trying to do,
right.
I don't know. It makes me feel good that there's this classification I never knew about. So.
Right. And there's definitely, there's definitely case studies where people cross the line, right? People may have started something as, oh, this is just a hobby, this is my little lifestyle business, and then there's a moment, a eureka moment where the business is crazy successful out the blue now. It wasn't, for instance, the lady who made the mittens for Bernie Sanders, right? When he was at the inauguration, right?
Yeah.
The picture went viral. Bernie Sanders wearing those mittens, and, everybody was trying to find out who made it and XYZ. Next thing you know, she's sold out. She's out of it. She sold out the inventory, X, Y, Z, right? But up until that point, for the most part, her business was a lifestyle business. It sustained her lifestyle. And what she did, she enjoyed it. She had fun. I mean, it still is a lifestyle business. But that one event, rocketed her sales, right? I don't know how she's doing now, but she was doing very good all along just based off that, right? So you do have those moments. It's not like all of a sudden, it's not like you can't spike or you can't be more successful than what you initially wanted your lifestyle business to be. But the initial thing is that the goal out the gate is not to be that. The goal is to be like, I just want to sustain a particular level of income and enjoy a specific lifestyle. And you, as the business owner, get to decide what type of lifestyle you want to live and take it from there.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot to consider.
Yeah, it's a lot to consider, and it's also, some people are not built for this either. I just, from what I'm listening, from what I'm learning about it, like, this isn't for everybody either.
Not at all. I mean, listen, we've had this talk on a lot of the episodes that we've done so far. Business as a whole isn't for everyone, right? We live in this world where it's really like, oh, well, you got to be your own boss. I can't do that 9 to 5. I don't know how y'all do it. And it's like, shut up. Business isn't for everybody, whether it's a lifestyle business or a scale startup business. I think some people just try to get into it and see what happens. But even a lifestyle business isn't for everybody, because what I've realized, especially when I talk to a lot of people and who had aspirations, we say, well, determine your lifestyle and build your business around that. You'd be surprised on how many people don't even know what type of lifestyle they want to live. Right? Like, you can't, some people, it would draw a blank. Well, what would you, in a perfect world, what type of lifestyle would you want? And what would usually happen is they wouldn't be able to tell you, but they would be able to tell you what they can't do. Right? Like, what type of lifestyle you want? Well, I can't do this because no one asked you that.
Exactly. The question was, what do you want?
What do you want? Right? Not what you can't do. What type of lifestyle would you want? I want to start a business. I want to. Okay, great. Just tell me what that world will look like. Do you get to wake up late? Right? You ask yourself these questions. Does it mean, I only work from 10 to 2, and I wake up. Excuse me. Maybe it's I wake up at 7 and I spend from 7 to 10 doing things I want to do leisurely, reading, taking a jog, coffee, whatever you want to do, focusing on your garden. And then you say, I only want to work from 10 to 2 or 10 to 3, doing whatever you want for your business. Then saying, hey, from 3 to 4, I pick up the kids and, I spend time with them after school and I want to be home with them for dinner. And then, maybe I'll go back and work at night from like 8 to 12 while the kids are asleep. What type of lifestyle would you like, or what would be ideal for you? And that's where you kind of have to start having those conversations. And then, that will help identify what type of business would work for you. But if you don't really know what type of lifestyle you're gearing towards, then, again, it kind of, it's just as hard as starting a startup business as well, right?
Hell yeah.
It's like, I don't know what I want to do. But I will say, again, the lifestyle will change. Some people don't mind working certain hours. I know for me, my lifestyle, how I like to live my lifestyle. So, and I know people who lifestyle we wouldn't align. Like, I'm an early riser. I like to wake up early. I don't really like to be up too late. I like to go to bed at a decent time. So, I wouldn't really want to be involved in a business that requires me being out past 11 or 12, you know what I mean? Or like, and I've been in those situations, at a photo shoot or a video shoot. And you know how I feel about video shoots and photo shoots, right? Like, so I would never put myself in a position where that it would impact my lifestyle. Well, I got to be out like that on a consistent basis. One-time emergencies and things like that, fine. But you're telling me consistently this is how I have to live for this business? For me, it's probably not going to align and work well for me.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, all right. So, any closing thoughts or parting thoughts on lifestyle businesses?
Only that, it's very easy to think that this is something that's easier than a traditional startup. And when you really break it down and you see the constraints you have in terms of expansion and infusing capital for the purpose of expansion and problem solving, it's really not necessarily easier. It's it could be equal, but it's definitely not easier than a traditional business.
Oh yeah, great point. I definitely by no stretch of the imagination would I say a lifestyle business is easier. I do think I would say this about a lifestyle business. For a lot of lifestyle businesses, it tends to lend itself because a lot of lifestyle businesses start off because of people's hobbies and interests. There's a possibility for an easier transition into it, easier like doing that. But what you'll come to find is a lot of people, when they do something because they like it and then start doing it because it's a business, it's two different experiences, right? So all that to say, I agree with you, Sean. Yes, it's not as easy as it's not as easy as we think, as one might think it might be, so to speak. So yeah, so I think we're good there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, this was a good topic. I really enjoyed it. I actually had a good time revisiting it. I was familiar with the concepts and things like that, and the pros and cons. Well, not even pros and cons, just the comparison between this and like more traditional businesses. But what I did like in revisiting this was that what I remembered was that there's no set correct path or answer for a lifestyle business, as with most things, right? Some people, it spans multiple industries, multiple disciplines. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, if you can just make money from it and maintain the lifestyle that you want while making money from this business, then you're successful. It's really as simple as that. It's just that now you just decide on those other factors that go into it.
Yeah, exactly. Those other factors will determine everything else. Yep.
Yes, indeed. Cool. All right, so that's a wrap on this week's episode about lifestyle businesses and some things to be mindful of when considering if it might be right for you. If you have a question you would like us to answer on the show, shoot us a message on any of our social media channels or shoot us an email at questions@businessgrindshow.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe and share on Spotify and iTunes, please. See you again soon. In the meantime, keep grinding.
The Business Grind is for entertainment purposes. Opinions expressed are those solely of the host and guests. Please consult with a professional and exercise discretion before engaging in any business endeavors.
Came straight from the bottom to the top of my lifestyle.